somewhere scenic with mountains. Our boy Kong was out for a wander. His exploring addiction is a real problem. Seriously, he just can't help himself. Today, a terrible idea struck. Time for a completely unplanned project. He picked a fight with a big tree. Step 1. Hang up the man purse. And then, he unleashed the trowel of power. Kong declared war on the forest floor. The leaves didn't stand a chance. Hello, dirt. Next on the list, annoying rocks. He shuffled them around and taught them some manners. This wasn't nearly enough stuff. So Chong went on a fetch quest. The view was desktop wallpaper worthy. But Kong wasn't here for sightseeing. He had a man cave to build. He found another tree to bother. Like a clumsy ninja, he snapped off a bunch of twigs. He's no bodybuilder. But this'll work for a starter home. He's surprisingly quick. In a flash, the sticks were jammed into the ground. Right. He slaps a waterproof tarp on top. Voila, a roofish thing exists. Roof, check. Time to conquer the floor. Shovel food, engaged. Dirt, be gone. A mat to fight the damp, followed by a fluffy fur thing. And boom, a woodland set. With his mansion complete, Tong takes a well-earned breath. Now, what to do with these twigs? Plot twist, his knife handle is a secret matchbox with a bit of fiddling. Fire. We have fire. Next, collect all the moss. Time for some all-natural insulation to keep the wind's chilly fingers out. Was he done? Heck no, Gang's never done. He decided a log needed an upgrade. Step 1, carve a notch. Step 2, jam a stick in it. Presto, an IKEA-grade log stove. Out comes the tiny, ancient kettle. He adds yesterday's artisan swamp water. Soon, it will be artisan asterisk, hot asterisk, swamp water. Go Bao, the supervisor, was behaving. Just chillin', admiring his real estate. Then, gourmet hour began. He may be in the wild, but he doesn't eat like an animal. He packed the whole grocery store, while others eat berries and bugs. Kongay basically brought a 5-star restaurant. Up the mountain, a sprinkle of fancy herbs, and dinner is served. He crammed it all into a behold, the wilderness burrito. Kong Ji and Gobo scarfed it down. Then, a well-earned food coma by the fire. The next day, the fog was thick enough to chew. Even so, the boys marched onward. After a delightful snow hike, a grumpy old tree root blocked their path. Kyung's eyes narrowed. Challenge accepted. He's a man of action, not chit-chat. Pack down, sleeves up, time to work. This ancient piece of wood was about to be forcefully relocated. It looked heavy, and you know what? It was very heavy, even for a giant like K. This was a serious workout. Man versus root, the final showdown. Target acquired. 2 trees. Time to build a foundation out of rocks. Faster than my last Amazon delivery. Kiang's 5-star Lientu was looking sharp. Luckily, the entire planet was made of rocks here, which is super convenient for rock-based architecture, with the rock patio installed. He wrangled some logs for the frame. One became the main support beam, and the others became a very woody roof. Now for the continuity. He slapped a ton of pine branches on top. Weatherproofing, complete. And just like that, a roof air freshener combo. For that luxury feel, he installed all-natural twig carpeting. Somehow, it was already noon. The fog got the memo and left. The sun came out to murder the snow. Time to pull out the OL fire-starting fluff. He unleashes the secret weapon. With a magician's flick, a happy little fire was born. He stacked a few more rocks. Wilderness chef mode, engaged. The legendary cooking pot appears. First order of business, making grease. Welcome to this episode of Gourmet Survival. Just ignore the whole middle of nowhere vibe. You'd swear a Michelin chef was showing off. Seriously. He had the entire spice rack out here. If his wok was fancier, he'd be doing wok robot. This stuff was an all-day affair. In the end, it became a giant burrito. Kong absolutely inhaled it. The day's exhaustion. Deleted by deliciousness. Properly stuffed. He noticed the sky had put on its peach, so Kong waddled back to his fort. With Gubao on security detail, he could finally pass out. Day 3 in the mountains. Morning surprise. The world got a fresh coat of white paint. Kong and Gubao decided to go for a stroll. And, hey, a wild cave appeared. Without hesitation, he dropped his gear, grabbed a shovel, and began some aggressive landscaping. Thanks to his old construction job. He dug like a caffeinated gopher. Next, he invited some local rocks over. He arranged them out front, creating a little VIP viewing deck. Then, with some soft soil, boring part done. And now, the main event. Konge grabs some sticks, wedges them into the rock wall. Like a pro, drape the top. Voila, a 5-star hovel. With $1 million view. Time for some log splitting therapy. Because freezing is not on the itinerary. The usual technique. Let there be fire. With the blaze roaring, he boils some water. Just kidding, it's fishing time. Luckily, there's a river. And from these raging waters, he actually catches a fish. How? This fish had one bad day. Hello, dinner. Time for its spa day. Guts out. Back at the office. It's seasoning o'clock. Pomegranate, spices, the works. Even the lemon gets an invite. All aboard the gut cavity. Wrap it snugly in a little foil jacket. Then give it a fashionable mud overcoat. Yeet it into the flames. Let the beggar's fish magic begin. Just wait 30 minutes. No peeking. Kongi unleashes the beggar's fish. Add its trusty sidekick. And the flavor is simply illegal. Bedtime routine. Feed the iron stove some lava. Gotta keep the place from turning into an icebox. On a night this cold, this little furnace is his everything. Now, look at this guy. At first glance, you'd think he's here to collect your recycling, but nope, it's our old pal, Kong. That's not junk he's carrying. It's his adventure starter pack. For Kongji, mountains are mere speed bumps, and ridges are a light jog. After a casual 81-hour stroll, he finds the perfect piece of real estate. Classic Konge style. No words needed. He just whips out his legendary shovel. A reunion for the ages. They work in perfect sync. With each mighty swing, the forest floor, as if on command, gets out of the way. With his new bachelor pad cleared, he wrangles a conveniently placed log. Using the hill's natural cheat code. Presto. This log is the shelter's spine. The extra bit, it's extra. Asterisk, chop asterisk. Now, he summons its smaller log minions. These little guys line up on the roof like good soldiers. Once they're snuggled up tight, Chong unleashes a wild plastic sheet from his magic bag and slaps it on top. Behold, a roof poncho. Then he adds a tasteful dirt garnish. It's now sturdy and mostly waterproof. Brother Kiang's efficiency is terrifying. No time to rest. Time for the luxury Simmons bed. Nothing says cozy like a solid plank of wood. Over in the kitchen, living dining room, Tong digs a wee fire pit. He arranges some twigs and adds a splash of goat juice. One spark later, we have achieved smoke. Back at the bedroom, he builds himself a nightstand because he's civilized. And just like that, the rustic bachelor pad is complete. Dinner time. Tong doesn't mess around. He pulverizes some boar meat, like he's making forest dumplings. Next, a random stick. He shaves it smooth, then slaps the meat paste on it. This eating style is weird, but it works. Behold, the king of snacks. While the feast simmered, Kong Gay got antsy. He went exploring and found a glass bottle. This guy's a DIY genius. He wrapped it in rope, doused it in fuel, and an ice bath made the bottom pop right off. My simple brain just broke. But Kong the wizard was already building a stage with rustic flair, 10/10 for creativity. Meanwhile, dinner was served. Kayang's favorite, egg pancakes, plus some roasted meat. They dug in. Pure satisfaction. Even out in the sticks. With bodyguard Gubao on duty. Tong had zero worries. He was out like a light. At dawn, Chong was up before the birds. Straight to the river. For an ice-cold man shower. This weather has commitment issues. Uninvited, sleet crashed the party. Seeing the sky's mood swing, this hut needs a winter coat. Back to the mudslinging. Sealing it up airtight. No drafts shall pass. Luckily, the terrain was a team player. Instant windbreak. Making Brother Kiang's job way easier. Hut insulated. Next step. Unleash the treasured mini. First, a flurry of engineering. Gotta get that exhaust pipe perfect. He fed it some dry firewood. And whoosh, we have fire. Outside, snow. A whole lot of white. Inside, the temperature was skyrocketing. Instant spring break, hut style. Turns out, Kiang's a fancy man. First, he brews some wellness tea, and sips it with purpose. Then, out comes a loaf of bread, bigger than his head. You just know, dinner's gonna be epic. This bread is hiding glorious secrets. Secrets like crispy fried potatoes, perfectly thick sausage, and a few wild eggs. This one meal, for our hero, was an all afternoon production. By the time he ate, the sun had clocked out. Next thing you know, he's back on the road. He crossed the stream, tiptoeing very, very carefully. She, the snow, is sleeping. He found the perfect snow-hugged spot. Time to get things done. Spoiler alert, it was cold. Kiang's hands and feet were now popsicles. So, to fix that, he gathered all the flammable things. Once the fire was roaring, the vibe became less Ice Age. Next, Kong busted out a classic move. The instant shelter. But first, he toasted his soggy gloves over the fire. He grabbed 2 bamboo poles. And with some wilderness magic, poof, a shelter frame. The back leaned on a conveniently placed log. He used some locally sourced fine rope. He tied it all up so it wouldn't collapse. Then, he slapped a tarp on top. And just like that, a minimalist condo was born. Add 1 stone slab, and you get a 5-star kitchen. Today's menu is simple. We're token back to basics. I guess after running around like a headless chicken. Kiang's body was officially on strike. The second food hit his tongue. A blissful sigh escaped. Then, ninja-like he dove into bed, and promptly passed out. After a 5-star snooze, Kiang's batteries hit 100%. He crunched through the snow with purpose. 2 friendly-looking trees became his new 5-star resort. Asterisk, whoosh. Asterisk, instant tent. Tie one end, tie the other. And boom, a floating fortress. In goes the tiny furnace. Instant cozy, achieved. The blizzard outside is now just ambience. After a brief power nap, it's back to business for Chong. He grabs a stick and stabs it into the ground. Voila, a state-of-the-art rack. He stacks a few rocks, and his IKEA-free workbench is ready. In go the New Year's meat restaurant. But he was too busy daydreaming about tea, and forgot the cooking part of cooking. The meat now has a vintage look. But does Kong care about looks? Nope. As long as it's edible, it's a win. Belly full, Tong packs up his mobile man cave. And he's off to a new spot. The ridiculously scenic Caucasus Mountains. Seriously, this place is a desktop background. Our guy, Brother Kong, grabs his gear and struts off into the wild. With his trusty sidekick, Juba, They begin to wander aimlessly again. After a respectable amount of wandering, a ridiculously old tree catches his eye. He stares at it for a second, and then an epiphany. This is basically a pre-made house. For a rugged dude like me. So, he drops his pack, rolls up his sleeves, and gets to work. Step 1. Tidy up the place. While sweeping leaves and twigs, a master plan began to form. You can almost hear the gears turning. A blueprint for a luxury tree condo was materializing in his head. Next, he drills a few holes in the tree, and the grand construction project levels up. The scenery was gorgeous. But Brother Kong was a busy man. These conveniently fallen trees were basically a free hardware store. He goes for the skinny, old branches. They may be thin, but they're super bendy. Back at the job site, these sticks get a promotion. He just stuck him in the holes. Outside, 2 beefier branches offered moral support. The tiny hobbit suddenly got a mansion upgrade. The floor was wonky, so he threw rocks at the problem until it was fixed. Of course, the weather had a mood swing. Total drama queen. And, poof, a blizzard. It was already freezing. This was just rude. So Chong, fueled by pure spite, entered frantic build mode. Twigs became walls. Good thing he hoarded supplies like a squirrel. Lickety split. He walled the whole thing in. Just needed to tie a nice little bow on top, with rope. But the snow raged quit as fast as it came. Suddenly, a lovely day. Make up your mind, sky. By then, the walls were done anyway. So Chong just did a copy-paste for the roof. He may look like a lumberjack, but he's got a PhD in making stuff. Even the leftover scraps got a job. Add a little fancy mud, and presto, a perfectly good stove. They say melting snow is the real enemy. Kang was now a firm believer. Poof, firewood. The stove finally coughed up some smoke. After a brief Patantan showdown, the al fresco kitchen was born. Back to Extreme Home Makeover, Wilderness Edition. Brother Kong slaps some moss on the roof. It's basically nature's Gore-Tex. The walls get a matching green fur coat. And just like that, it's hobbit shaped. An outdoor stove is nice, but nights out here are brutally cold. A fireplace is mandatory. First, a stick frame on the side of the house. Then, glob on the all-natural mud. Last, just jam in a chimney. Boom, fireplace achieved. Flexing his crafting skills, he casually installs a window and a door, because those are useful. This place looks straight out of a fairy tale. But he's not done yet. He spots a lonely tree stump and turns it into a workbench. While looking for wood, he spotted a volunteer for dinner. You don't say no to nature's DoorDash. After a quick prep, onto the stove it goes. He also throws on some chicken, for good measure. The aroma is ridiculous. Even Go Bao is truly tasty. Full belly, hot tea, Kiang's living the good life. Sure, he's all alone, but he calls it premium meat time. Besides, Gu Bao is on guard duty. The fire's roaring. The hut's toasty. And so, Kong officially started his no-rules lifestyle. For Kong, the world is his living room. Today was no different. Time for another stroll into the big, spooky woods. Oh look, a very angry river. Tong was not impressed. He just wobbled across, carrying Gubo like a furry football. Like a walk in the park. A very, very big park. until a fallen tree screamed, "You shall not pass." Kong saw this not as an obstacle, but a fun project. He decided to get up close and personal with Mr. Tree. A new friendship was about to be forged. With an axe, out comes the tool. He whipped up some branches into a very questionable ladder. Time to give this tree some tough love. First, he carves a big OL hole in it. Next, he threads the saw blade through and starts the world's most aggressive flossing. The hole gets wider. After all that hard work, the tree has officially been disemboweled. He nudges the son-off bit, then slots it in like a giant Lincoln log. The frame is officially framed. Now Chung becomes a stick magnet. Using some all-natural pegs, he connects the big beams. Next up, ladder time. After all, this sky isn't going to climb itself. After a little fiddling, a rustic ladder appears. Then, Tong invites his stick collection upstairs. They are arranged neatly, then pegged into submission. And just like that, we have a floor. After a quick manicure on the edges, Tong starts on the A-frame roof. The man is a machine. In a flash, the roof skeleton is up. Out comes his old friend, Mr. Tarp. He unfurls it with a magician's flair. This house is now officially rainproof. With the nest built, it's time to think about dinner. Kong has a brainwave and builds a stove on his doorstep. He dashes to the mountain spring to fetch a kettle of H2O. He sourced some local, artisanal mud, voila, wild cement. Brother Chung slapped it on the entrance of his new stove. The reason? So his bachelor pad wouldn't become a bonfire. Next up, a 5-star mattress of fresh leaves. Way better than sleeping on pointy sticks. Nature's comfort level, off the charts. The fire roared to life, and the kettle started its heavy metal screaming. Chef Kong entered the kitchen. Chicken legs, meat, pointy sticks, a sprinkle of salt. And now we wait and drool. The aroma summoned the furry dinner critics. They formed an orderly, slobbering queue, ready for the main event. Asterisk, ding, asterisk foods, ready, golden brown, perfection. 1 leg for each puppy, and the rest for the chef, perks of the job. And it's gone. Total carnage. Bellies full, spirits high. Brother Kong grabbed the teapot to wash down the victory. Meanwhile, the sun clocked out. Time for a group food coma. And just like that, Brother Kong was out cold. The next day, they decided to go up. Turns out, the view was way better up here. So much green, until a cliff said, nope.